Hello everyone, and welcome to Modern Warships. This is a game that a lot of you have recommended in the comments and asked me to take a look at. And I have. And I have to say, it took me a little bit to warm up to it, but it's actually quite fun. So, what is Modern Warships? Is it a World of Warships clone? No, pretty much not. This is much more of an arcade-style game. And it is a game that's focused on, well, not World War II and historic ships, but on more modern ships, like the USS Arleigh Burke here, the very famous destroyer. When I'm saying destroyer, we're not talking destroyer in Second World War terms, but we're talking about cruiser-sized guided missile destroyer sort of things. But we're getting ahead of ourselves, so let's take a look at the actual game setup. So as far as I can tell, there are 3 tiers so far, tier 1, 2, and 3. And this is all not very easily to keep an eye on because it's all in one long list. But there are 3 tiers of ships and a bunch of ship classes. So we have corvettes, we have frigates, we have destroyers, which are actually the largest the gunships that you'd get out there. And then we do have aircraft carriers. So that's definitely a thing. You get things like the Admiral Kuznetsov or the USS Nimitz. And then we have submarines as well. So these ships then have, well, the aircraft carriers obviously have planes, and a lot of the destroyers have things like helicopter launch pads and stuff like that. These ships can be upgraded. So if we go to, I think it's called Workshop. Yeah. So we have a multitude of slots. She has 2 primaries. The Arleigh Burke has 2 primary slots for Tomahawks. So there's one launcher aft and one launcher forward. Has a single 127mm cannon. And we do have anti-air missiles. And we have a phalanx for close air defense. We also have 2 autocannons, I think, one on each side, both for air defense and for close range engagements. And we actually have an Apache sitting on the rear that can be launched and can actually be piloted. Now you can upgrade all these things, and the way this works here is that, well, you earn dollars for battles, and then you can where was it? I think it was here. Yeah. So then you can upgrade multiple things. No, that's not where it was. Give me a second. I need to find it. Was it in the workshop? Yes, here it was. Okay. So for each weapon system, you can upgrade things like damage, range, reload. Don't know if there's anything else really. No, I think that's pretty much it. Obviously, the helicopter can be upgraded in terms of health, in terms of speed, and all these kind of things. And the ship itself can be upgraded, but for these upgrades you need upgrade points, which you can buy for money. So you've got money, you can buy upgrade points, and the money comes reasonably quickly in this game. We'll get to that in a minute as well. But then the upgrades you take are the higher the upgrade gets, the lower the chance. So for example, here we only have a 40% chance of upgrading. So I'm going to have to waste a couple of points to actually managed to get under these 40%. There we go, and it worked. And the higher you go, the more upgrade points, or the lower the chance is that you actually may manage to get any upgrades. So what's the difference between all these ships here? So for example, let's look at the Arleigh Burke. Well, the Arleigh Burke is a guided missile destroyer, and this ship is what you would in World of Warships call a long-range sniper, sort of. You do not want to get in close-range engagements because she is going to go down reasonably quickly. Now we're talking about missiles, right? So we're talking about cruise missiles, which is what mostly has replaced guns in modern warfare. And we have obviously anti-air defense systems which need to be overwhelmed. So once you get missiles that start saturating your anti-air defenses, you start taking missile hits, and you can't take all that many of those. The other things that you have are torpedoes. For example, submarines have torpedo launchers. Submarines also can submerge, for a limited period of time, because even though they're all nuclear submarines, they actually have a limited oxygen supply, which is a little bit wonky, but you do need to have a mechanic that eventually forces the submarine to come up again. You have carriers that can send out planes that can drop things on people, and you have these smaller ships like the frigates and the corvettes, which are more like fast multi-role ships. So this is more like the light cruiser sort of the game. In this case, I've got here the USS Independence, which is a literal combat ship, not a literal one as in not figurative, a literal as in close to the coastline. It's a trimaran, I think. Yeah, you can kind of see it here in the rear. This thing's quick. I mean, if we look at the destroyer here, that only does 20 knots, which isn't quite correct. But this thing is going 31 knots, so this thing is a lot faster, but doesn't have as much health, and obviously the weapon a smaller amount of weapon systems. So I only have a phalanx up here. I've got the cannon in front, but she does have a single Tomahawk launcher, and she has a torpedo launcher. Because not every single weapon system can obviously hit every single ship. You can't hit a submerged submarine with anything except for torpedoes and mortars, I believe. So there are quite a few aspects in the game that lead to some surprising need for tactics, even though the whole thing is a lot more fast-paced and arcadey. But let's start out with the Ali Burke, and let's get into one of the games. The game has released, I think, just a couple of days ago, and here we are in the ship. It's a 5v5 quick-paced battle. It usually doesn't last longer than a couple of minutes, and again, obviously, because you have things like saturation, it's very important that you get to the point where you can kill enemy ships. So we do have, I think, 2 submarines against 2 corvettes plus one destroyer, and we have 1 aircraft carrier on our side. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to park myself next to the friendly aircraft carrier, so we can combine our air defenses, because the spotting mechanic is such that the bigger the ships, the shorter the radar, and you can be spotted from, or you can be detected from quite a while away. And you really don't want carriers to be coming under fire, because while they are quite powerful with their planes, once they come under fire from surface ships, things get bad very quickly. So I think the carrier is moving slowly forwards. I am parking myself next to the carrier, and there we've got a Chinese, I think it's a Chinese destroyer, so off go the Tomahawks, and just firing the gun, see if I can get some hits in at this thing from this range. And there we got the good missile hit, 2 for 26,000 points of damage. That's about 1/4 of the ship down. If you can see on the bottom, we have a repair party, and we have a sort of flares missile defense consumable that we can use. And but right now I'm just sitting at long range, giving air cover to the carrier in case any of these guys over there decides that they want to start launching missiles, because air cover again overlaps. So it's very important to have to stay close, especially with these sort of ships, because alone you cannot easily defend yourself against a barrage of missiles. There's 2 more of my Tomahawks coming in. You see the enemy AA going up, and I think they intercepted one of them. Both of them, yeah. So that Soviet, whatever it is, that thing definitely hasn't managed to defend itself. But there we got 1 Tomahawk hit in. So they have some chance of defending themselves, but it's not perfect. Now my helicopter, I can launch that as well. And if I'm not directly controlling it, I think it just becomes AI controlled. But yeah, this guy is, I think, been seriously overextending. He's been running aground. So I am now opening up with 127 mils and shooting Tomahawks while they're reloading, just using the guns. You do have to manually lead, and I took some big missile hits. So we're definitely going to get the repair body up. I'm not sure why our carrier is moving ahead so much. It shouldn't be there at all. But yeah, that Soviet boat over there has been doing some serious damage to me, and we are just no one's died yet, so we definitely have our work cut out for ourselves. I think the carrier is way too much forward, so I'm not sure how long that thing's going to be surviving, but just keeping the gunfire up, and occasionally firing my tomahawks when I have a chance. Although you do have a limited supply of the missiles, obviously, so you do need to actually watch out. Yeah, no friendly fire, carrier, get out of the way. You do have to watch out. You know, if you use them up, they're gone. There is one ship over there that's on low health, but it looks like one of the enemy frigates has been making his way around. So and these things are quickly. I think he just shot down my Apache. So I am going to have to start fighting it out with this thing. So all guns blazing, short range tomahawks, and at this range I'm not sure the missile defense is doing an awful lot, but full speed ahead and guns blazing, and we'll see if we can get this thing destroyed, because we've lost one ship and the enemy's team is still full. There was one low health enemy ship, and I hope someone else can take it out, because I am right in a very ferocious gun duel with this whatever this is. I'm not super familiar with the more modern warships, so the historical section will. I'm actually the historical section. You're going to have to live with me actually having to research that if I'm going to do more videos. But we've got him, and we're just down to 900 hit points. We still have a repair kit up, but we definitely do want to keep our distance now if we can. That other thing there, that Chinese boat, is down, and there's another one over there. So. And that's the Soviet bugger from earlier. So yeah, we do need to see if we can wait 20 seconds for our repair kit to come off cooldown, because we are extremely low on health in that battle just now. But at short range, they don't have their AA doesn't have a huge amount of chance to take out the tomahawks, and they do a lot of damage. And I'm not sure if he's using his guns, but my autocannons are opening up at him as well. Yeah, he is, definitely. But not as effectively as he could. Right? So I think it's just his autocannons opening up, or he's not hitting me. But I don't know. I might be winning this fight. We'll find out. Definitely getting the tomahawks in here. Yeah. Is it realistic? Not really. It's really more arcade, and it might feel just like a general shoot 'em up. The thing is, if you do have to play strategic in such that. You have to make sure, because you do have limited ammunition, you have to make sure that you are choosing your targets wisely and not just dropping missiles on things that are like several ships that are sitting and giving each other air cover. Leading the shots is more difficult than you think. It looks like I'm constantly missing here, but the game has a tendency to reset you when you change weapons and get your targeting back where you don't want it to be. Like now I'm firing the tomahawks, and now I actually might have to manually lead the guns again. But I think I've whittled him down, and I think I've got him. Which only leaves one corvette. Yeah, there he is. And I think he's in a gunfight with this other one over there. So I think even though our carrier has survived surprisingly, and I am getting targeted by the autocannons. I've burned through all my repair kits, but I think. If he's not actually targeting me with missiles or anything, I think I might be surviving this. And yeah, is it just an outright brawl? No, it's really it's action packed, but it is surprisingly strategic, because if you're not being careful and you're not using your ships in the right capacity. So for example, if you're in a carrier or if you're in a destroyer and you're rushing ahead. And you get yourself killed early there. I'm out of tomahawks. So now it's just down to the autocannons. My helicopter's been shot down, and the 127 mils. But there's 3 of us and 1 of him, so I think we're going to get him. Yeah, if you're... let's say you're in a destroyer, you lost your helicopter, or at least in the Arleigh Burke. You lost your helicopter and you're out of tomahawks, and there's a submarine around, and you have nothing that you can hit a submarine with. You certainly wish that there's still a corvette around which has some anti-submarine warfare capabilities, and is kind of able to help you out, because otherwise that thing's just going to torp you. So there we go. That was a bit of a hefty brawl, and we got a little bit lucky, but we did come out on top of the team, and we managed to pull the win. Even if I had gone down, I mean, there were 2 more ships, so we probably would have still made it, but it's always good to see. All right, let's do a second one, And I just want to show you the LCS, the Independence, because that is a slightly different playstyle. This was supposed to be more of a sit back and long-range missile barrage at enemy ships. The LCS is a much more aggressive ship. And off we go in the Independence. Now, this thing, as you've seen earlier, she's got torpedoes, she's got one Tomahawk launcher, but this thing is also very, very quick. So what I like to do with this smaller ship, I like to abuse the speed and try to outflank. She doesn't have the huge amount of health. I'm just launching the helicopter in case it is actually automatically managed. I'm not 100% sure of that. It's definitely when I'm flying the helicopter, the game is sailing my ship for me. And if your ship gets destroyed, you'll be out of the game, even if you're still in the helicopter. But what I want to do now is I want to sail around the edge. I have a long radar range, and I'm a small, fast ship. I don't have a huge amount of health, and I don't have the same amount of, say, air defense. But there, for example, is the enemy carrier already, and I'm not spotted, but I have spotted the carrier, and I can start opening up at that thing. I have no idea if my 127mm main gun can actually reach that thing, but I am now getting torpedoes in the water. I think it's sailing forward, so we're gonna have to fire. We're gonna have to lead a little bit. Yeah, we're definitely hitting. And I mean, I'm spotted now, but I am way ahead of where the enemy surface vessels are and where the carrier escorts are. So I can now, and I think I've just run into the map border. Yes, I have. I'm getting some missile fire coming in from the airplanes. Obviously, the carrier is not particularly happy about me shooting at him, but carriers are not going to stand a huge amount of chances. And there I've shot. I think this was one of the Reapers from the Queen Elizabeth over there, sitting right behind him. The carriers are not going to have a huge amount of survivability against a small, fast ship that is armed with tomahawks and torpedoes. So heading 30 knots, full speed ahead. And no, I've got one down. That's the Independence. And there's a submarine. So I do have torpedoes that I can use against the submarine, but I can also use against surface vessels. There is still the USS Nimitz over there, but they've already lost 2 carriers. So you do need a mix as well. I mean, you can't choose, but matchmaking-wise, you also do need to have a mix of ships that can support each other, because carriers on their own, for example, are going to have a hard time against just regular surface ships. So we keep spamming the Tomahawks. We only have one launcher, so I'm reasonably certain that the carrier is capable of dealing with my... the carrier's AA is probably dealing with my Tomahawks. Unless that looks like... No, didn't get through. But we are hitting him with the guns, and the occasional Tomahawk might get through. I just keep spamming them, and especially the torpedoes are probably relatively effective against the carriers. So... yeah, it just adds up, you know, and the 127 mils are effective over time in getting these carriers down, and there's very little they can do about it. But the enemy carrier is obviously hitting it as well, and there you can see the whole barrages of missiles coming in. So of course, if you coordinate your fire with your teammates and look what they're shooting at and just overwhelm them, then you can whittle these enemy ships down pretty quickly, because their air defense systems can only deal with so many things at once. And there's an Ekranoplan, actually. This is one of the really obscure... This thing existed. This was one of the obscure Soviet flying ships. But I am now out of torpedoes. That was my last torpedo that went out against that... I think it's a destroyer. And which means I'm down to Tomahawks and to the guns, to the 127 ones. And the Ekranoplan is going in there as well. So we're just spamming missiles and whatever at this thing. I think I haven't played this because I think this is like a premium or something, but it seems to be hitting pretty hard. And but you remember the submarine from earlier? I'm out of torpedoes, so I actually don't have any weapons to deal with the submarine. I am still taking a bunch of hits here, I think. Was it me? Or was it the other one? Yeah, there's the submarine. So the submarine is now submerged. I mean, there's 4 of us left, so he doesn't stand a chance. But none of us can actually hit them. I don't have torpedoes anymore. I do, however, still have the Apache. So I'm just putting the ship in full ahead and letting the computer player take care of that thing. I do have the Apache, which has torpedoes. And the submarine can't stay submerged forever. At some point, it's going to have to come up. So we're just going to be sitting here and waiting. And I've got the torpedoes ready. They are relatively short range. The Ekranoplan is getting close as well. I don't know if he's got any weapons to deal with the submarine. But he's now, look at the torpedoes coming from the sub. Or maybe these were friendly torpedoes, I'm not sure. Or has he just torpedoed himself? No idea. But there comes my torpedo going in. And the submarine has to surface. And that's when I can obviously start using missiles. But yes, he is definitely sending torpedoes out. And hitting whatever. I think it's an enemy. I think it's the friendly submarine that he's duking it out. There, look at my ship just sailing past. He's duking it out with a friendly submarine, but I'm here airdropping torpedoes on him, and I'm just waiting for him to surface, and then get the. I think it's Mavericks or Hellfires. I'm not sure what this thing's got sailing, but there you see he's dodged one of my torpedoes. It's relatively easy to dodge those things, but still have one. There you go. Drop it. And splosh. And yeah, at some point he's gonna run out. So you see, and it's just the two of us left, right? It's just the Ekranoplan and me, and I don't think the Ekranoplan has anything to use on this submarine. But I still have the torpedoes on the helicopter. And again, I'm just waiting for him to surface when he's running out of oxygen. At which point we're just gonna hit him. And there comes the AI sailing my ship by again. It is a fun game. Battles are usually very short and fast-paced. Also, you can if you die, you don't have to wait until the battle ends. You can immediately play the ship again, which is just given that you don't have that many ships, is actually quite nice. And it's a fun arcade game with more modern equipment. There he comes. Now he's surfacing. So missiles ready. Out they go and hit him with the 20 mil as well. And there come the rockets from the Ekranoplan over, and that's I think that's pretty much the submarine down. He might be trying to dive again, but there he goes. Okay, it's a fun game, and it's good if you just have a couple of minutes somewhere and you're trying to pass the time, stuff like that. It's surprisingly stable. The performance is good. You do get the occasional server problem where you just need to restart, but given how new this is, that is not surprising. So, that's the first look. Do let me know if you want me to do some more and some more deeper insights into the ships and how you can play them. I obviously, don't have anything like a press account, so I'm just playing whatever I'm unlocking myself, but I can, if you're interested, I can do some more videos on this. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye.